Hello, hello, hello. Let me get this thing off of here. Let me clear this background. Get off of there. Welcome, people. Welcome. Hot Facts with Robert Reese started a little bit early, but sometimes I start a little bit late, so it is A-okay. We want everybody to make sure you hit like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure the live gets put into the algorithm to let people know that some good talk is going on here. Today, as you see in the title, we're going to be going over gun violence and all of this other stuff. There's been a lot of killings going on. My family was just hit hard. Seems like we're getting hit hard more frequent. This one was by way of the violence thing, and during that same night, there was in Los Angeles. There was 6 murders in that same night. Okay, the same night. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. I will be posting up the link, but right now, I'm just going to go straight into the news and get right on into this right here. So check this out.
Local 10 News, a frightening beating on the sands of South Beach. A tourist and her friends say they were enjoying their time in the sun when they were harassed and attacked. Local 10's Ian Margot spoke with one of the victims and is live with the exclusive. Ian.
Yeah, just imagine you're hanging out on the sand, maybe you even fall asleep in the sun, and then suddenly you're being punched by someone you've never met for absolutely no reason. That's exactly what happened yesterday, right here. An unprovoked attack on Miami Beach Tuesday.
It's unfortunate this kind of violence has happened.
Deanna Anderson is in town from Houston visiting a friend who lives here in Miami. On Tuesday, the two of them were sitting under an umbrella at South Point Beach when a woman nearby started shouting at her.
I didn't really even notice this woman until she was facing the beach. Her back was to us the whole time, and she just turned.
The woman yelled some things in Spanish, but Anderson didn't think anything of it until the woman walked over and started getting aggressive.
She sort of pushed on me a little bit, trying to start a fight.
After a few seconds, the woman, clearly intoxicated, walked back to her chair, and Anderson and her friend moved away from her to another spot nearby. But then, right after Anderson says she drifted off to nap in the sun, the woman came back and just started wailing on her. Stop! Cell phone video shows a man working nearby running over and pulling the woman away. During the encounter, she called Anderson gay slurs and commented on her short haircut. But by the time police got there, she and the man she was with were gone.
The point is that she thought what she thought, and based on those hateful thoughts, took action on it. So, and that kind of thing I think needs to be talked about.
So Miami Beach police did take a report about this, and if the woman is found, she could face a battery charge. As for Anderson, she says, look, I'm just trying to enjoy the rest of my time here in South Florida. Live on Miami Beach, I'm Ian Margle, Local 10 News.
Breaking news.
All right, so that's nuts right there. So you're just having a good time and then someone is drunk. Now, here's the thing. Normally, when someone is attacking someone and they're throwing out these slurs that are going out there, they up that to a hate crime. Now, they said that they had some little charges there, but at the same time, what do you think? Making the gay slurs, the short haircut while being drunk, do you just leave it at that person was just drunk, or do you, as the lawyer or the person, go to get more if they are caught? But that person right there, first of all, that was just ridiculous. The people had nothing to do with you, and you just, something inside you said, just go attack, go attack, go attack. But that is what we are living in right now, people. It is crazy. Take a look at this.
In South LA, where deadly gunfire broke out at a street takeover.
Yeah, we know one man was shot and killed. CBS 2's Carl Finstrom live at the scene with the investigation. Carl, what can you tell us this morning?
Chris, LAPD officers came out here to break up what was reported to be a very large street takeover, about 200 people. Take a look, though, right across the street. You can see there is a car wash that has been sealed off because once they got here, officers said they were flagged down by people saying someone had been shot. We could actually see a bullet hole in a sedan that is kind of sealed off as evidence here. Also, numerous evidence markers on the ground. A detective confirmed that this is where a man in his 20s was shot. They say his friends put him in a truck, were headed to the hospital when an ambulance intervened, tried to help. The man did die at the hospital. Let's go to video now of the moments before that shooting. And you can see it was a wild scene here at Hoover and Century. Cars swinging, folks hanging out of them, others running around them, many with cell phones recording. One vehicle ended up bursting into flames with fireworks overhead. No information yet about what triggered the shooting here or a suspect description. And this is just one of the dangerous street takeovers law enforcement had to deal with last night. Take a look. Just about 6 miles away at Alondra and Central, you can see more cars swinging, people hanging out of the windows, fireworks and explosives reported there as well. Now, this does appear.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? Now, the streets that these people are doing these takeovers on, and they're saying that they don't know how the gun violence and the guns are coming out. Okay, this particular image right here, okay, this is the corner, okay? This is Alondra and Central, okay, people. So there is a gang right there, Hispanic gang, called the Compton Barrio 155. Right there, you have the Park Village Compton Crips. That is the Compton Airport right there. You have the Nutty Blocks there. You have other gangs associated all right there. These are regular people. These are regular people going to take over and do these street things in the middle of a gang. Like, that's real high gang active territory right there. That is super active territory right there. So along with these street takeovers, there are these car crews, and also affiliated with the car crews, you have taggers, okay? And they leave stickers. And they do all this other stuff, and they're going to take over certain spots. Now, people at the times and where they are doing these takeovers, those are active hours in gang time. Those are active hours. So if you get all these people coming, tearing up the street, taking it all over, most neighborhoods don't want that much action or heat coming over to their area. So when you got people acting rowdy and crazy like this, you got taggers coming along, they're tagging and stuff, someone's going to get mad and start shooting. That's how that happens. And these people they went from one takeover downtown LA, and then they went, and the other one was in the hood too. People, the streets right there off of Hoover and Century, go check it out. That is, look, and then they go all the way over to what's up, James Guy? They go ahead to the other street takeover, which is not that far away, but that's real high gang activity there. And they're regular people who just like cars to go crazy like this, but they don't know that they're invading on somebody else's area. So that's why these random shootings happen like this. It's random people doing crazy stuff, and then other people are like, no. So that's what happens. So check this out.
To be a separate incident, although participants often go from one to another. A homicide lieutenant tells us one thing all these takeovers have in common: folks with cell phones recording.
Well, most individuals do place things on social media, and so if someone did have anything that they captured on their cellular phones, we'd like for them to share it with us.
All right, we've moved over to the intersection here, giving you a look at some of the rubber tire marks you can see right here. Quite a bit of activity here last night, illegal activity, very dangerous. And sadly, again, Chris Marcy, someone has died because of this. They believe these are related, although not sure exactly how, but they're looking into that right now. We'll bring you more information as we get it.
3 people were killed in a shooting in Downey while attending a house party. This happened just before 1 this morning on Lead Street. Police responded to a call of shots fired and arrived at the scene to find 4 men and 1 woman with gunshot wounds. 3 of the men died at the scene. That fourth man and the woman were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say at this point they are not looking for any suspects, which means they believe the shooter is among the dead.
Asking for your help tonight finding the suspects behind a deadly shooting in the Bronx. The NYPD has released this surveillance video. Investigators say yesterday afternoon at about 1:30, the suspects got out of a gray Honda Pilot. This was near East 156th Street and Melrose Avenue in the Melrose section of the Bronx, and opened fire and then took off. A 19-year-old riding an electric scooter was killed. If you can help identify the suspects, you are asked to contact police.
After yet another week of horrific gun violence in America, thoughts this morning from Dr. Megan Ranney, emergency physician and Dean of Public Health at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island.
I am an emergency room doctor. I can tell you firsthand, the damage from an AR-15's bullet is almost indescribable. It creates gaping holes. It liquefies organs. It is rarely survivable. But as shocking and horrifying as each mass shooting is, what I see in the ER, day in and day out, are mostly handgun injuries. And these are horrible too. Suicides, domestic violence, community violence, and more. Regardless of the gun used, the way a bullet rips through a body is similar to the way gun violence tears apart our communities. Each bullet leaves a ripple effect, not just for the victim, but for their parents, their children, their siblings, and their friends. Talking to each of them is part of my job too, and it's heartbreaking. We need to start treating gun violence the same way we treat other public health crises, drunk driving, heart disease, even COVID. We can prevent gun violence before it lands people in my ER. So, for all of you losing hope, here are 3 actions we can all take today. First, if you have a firearm in your home, that's more than 40% of us in America, make sure it's stored safely, locked up, ideally unloaded. Second, know the danger signs: depression, dementia, domestic violence, substance use, and, yes, hatred. Finally, if someone you know is showing those danger signs, do everything you can to put time and distance between them and a gun while they're at risk of hurting themselves or others. I'm tired of taking care of victims and their families, but I maintain faith. This is not easy, but we can do it. It just takes all of us.
All right. All right. So we see what the topic is. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of both, a lot of everything that can actually come together and make for something that we can have some type of solution. It's just the other night when my nephew was the other night when my nephew was what's going on, Roy? The other night when my nephew was when he was hit, that same night there's a rapper, well-known rapper. He was with 50 Cent, and he got hit that night. That party that the other people were at when the 3 were gone and I think 4 were gone. That was that night, and there was one more. And those were all in the same night, and I'm just like, man. Now we all know the gun cannot shoot unless someone pulls that trigger. So there's a whole lot of self accountability and people just not caring about stuff. Can we ever fix that? No, you can never fix that because we don't know until they actually do it. You can't tell someone no because it's their right to have it. So, but it's crazy. Is it copycats, or is it like that's just the age it is? It's just go pop pop pop. What do you think, Roy?
What's up, man? Hey, first of all, let me say I saw your thing about your nephew. Condolences. So I'm going to make this disclaimer. Anything I say here, it is no means going to be disrespectful to you or his family, but there are things that may be said that is a harsh reality and people don't want to hear. Or so I'm just going to make that disclaimer. Don't take it as disrespect. I've known people that died from gunshots as well. So don't take it as disrespect. His family, don't take it as disrespect. But there's some shit that may come out of my mouth. You know how I am. I don't hold back. That may come off as disrespectful, but it's not. It's the truth of a lot of things, and we'll just leave it at that. Okay?
Yeah, right. You ain't even have to do that here. You ain't even got to do that here. I completely understand. And this is why people like I like to have Roy up here because in the story like it was gang violence, so we cannot throw out we cannot throw out the fact that it was gang violence. So people there, like these things happen in that realm. People sign up knowing that can possibly happen. You know what I mean? So people, you got to understand that this, it is the way it is. My oldest brother, that was his son. He almost died at like 16. I saw him get shot. I saw it happen from my top window in my apartment building. I saw it happen. So yeah, go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. That's the thing. If your nephew was involved in gang violence or gangs, period, you're almost asking for that. And that, like I said, it's not being disrespectful, but you're asking for it. You know what surrounds this type of environment. We see it. It's been happening since what, the 60s, 50s, where you get these people that want to congregate in certain areas. They think this is their area, which in reality, it's not your area. Just because you claim it, don't mean it's yours. And so, unfortunately, you get situations like this where you get caught up because you're on the wrong street, you're wearing the wrong colors. And at that point, when you enter that lifestyle, you got to realize your time is limited, whether it's be going to jail or you get capped off. The thing about, it's gun violence. No, it's not the gun. That's one thing I got to stress. People keep saying gun violence, gun violence. It's not gun violence. We don't go around saying hands and feet violence. We don't go running around fucking knife violence, baseball violence. That's only the tool that's being used to commit the crimes or whatever's happening. So to say it's the gun, it's not the gun. And too many people, that's the problem we have right now. Too many people are focusing on that versus the actual true issue, which is the gang situation. And unfortunately, with a lot of single mothers and stuff like that, these kids don't have somebody to look up to in their household, so they go to what they see. A lot of people say music has something to do with it. Of course it does. You got these people rapping out here talking about this lifestyle. Oh, it's this, it's that. That's alluring to people that, may not have people at home to, talk to or to surround themselves with. So that's alluring to people. You're flashing all this money. Who doesn't like money? Let's talk about it. Who doesn't like money? All the bitches. You know how it goes. That's alluring to young kids that don't have anything else in their life to gravitate to. So they need to start working on the issues of getting more involved. Even if you're a single mother, get more involved in your kids' stuff. Quit allowing your kid to go out whenever they want. Find a male father figure if you have to. There's plenty of adults in your family that, males that may not believe in that lifestyle. Have them sit down with the kids. You need to stop that shit before it even starts. And that's a big issue we need to talk about that they don't.
Right. And a huge issue, which is why, even though the doctor, she's coming in from the doctor point of view, she's coming in from the corporate point of view, and whoever's going ahead and throwing in the money for the sponsor point of view, she got to go ahead and do all of that. But she did make one point that was, it was really quick, but it was there. And when she used the word community, and you just touched on that, you just touched all the way on that even though your immediate, let's say if your pops is not the one there, there's normally and chances are it's an uncle, like you said, or even one of your friends' dads are cool, you know, and you go learn some stuff there. And what a lot of people don't understand, that when they the movie back in the day when Boys in the Hood came out, right? So they have the kid whose father is smart, educated, and trying to teach them while he's in there. He's trying to get him out, but he's teaching them the reality and the stuff so he can make the right decisions. That's what we're talking about, people, that right there. Even though you're in that same community, there are people in that community who don't like it. Okay, and those are positive influences. Okay, so we gotta have more people. Gotta have more people willing to just willing enough to. I remember back in the day when, let's say you're out walking down the street with your boys, you got a football in your hand or something, just walking down the street, neighbor might be outside watering the grass and say, you guys want to make some money real quick? And you go over there and he tells you, okay, water the grass or do this and do that. But then he's teaching you lessons while you're doing it. You get some money made, you're a little kid, but he didn't have to go ahead and do that though. Yeah. He could have did that work himself, but he's just trying to pass on the knowledge to the youth. And that's very important these days, people. And when you don't have that, crazy stuff starts to happen. Now, what do you think about the one clip I had up there? Now, we have it out here, the people that take over the streets. They take over the streets in the cars and they go crazy. And where they go take them over at, like the one where the dude just got shot up, that is prime. That is, to be exact, that's the corner where my nephew's from. That is supreme prime, super activity. So you got these regular kids who just like cars to say, let's go right here and tear up. Now these people, even though it's the hood, they still feel a certain way about their streets. So now you got the tagging crews coming over with the car, people doing all that, and they wonder why someone, they say, randomly got shot. What do you think about that?
Well, this is where the political parts come in too. Is you have all these people wanting to defund the police. They're electing these soft on crime DAs. That shit's got to stop. If you want to see that shit like this end, you can't do that anymore. If you're really serious about your neighborhoods and crime in your neighborhoods, you need to allow the police to do their job. You need to give the DAs the opportunity to convict these people, to do their job. Get rid of these soft on crime motherfuckers that are allowing this shit to happen on a daily basis. You're letting murderers out. You're letting these gang members go with a slap on the wrist. We all remember that movie Colors, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need to go back to. We need to go back to having where the police can actually go out there and start doing their fucking job, which is cracking down on these fucking people, these gang members and shit like that. Right now they have free reign of the streets because there's nothing going to happen to them. The cops' hands are tied because everybody and I'm not racist. We know this. I speak with everybody. Everybody, they're just picking on black people. Well, let's look at the majority of gang members in LA. What color are they? Hispanic and black. So they're not picking on you because of your race. They're picking on you because of your behavior. If you got 4 black guys or 4 Mexican guys or even 4 white guys standing on a corner at 12:30 at night, up to no good, it doesn't matter your color. The matter is you're doing crime, and it doesn't matter what color you are. But the cops drive by, they see these guys, and their hands are tied because the cops are at this point saying, why do you even bother these guys? Just let them do whatever they do. We'll come clean it up later. And because their hands are tied, we need to get back to where we have these units. They used to have the crash unit in LA. Not sure if they still have it, but to get in there and start busting these guys up. And unfortunately, everybody wants, they're just picking on us because we're black or no, they're picking on you because you're doing crime. Let's fucking be realistic about it.
And those are the designated crime areas, people. You got to understand. You have a nicer part of a city, you have a regular part, and then you have the place where they call the hood. And it's designated no matter where you live. You can be in an area where it's trailer park and it's going to be ran down, and that's the part of town, that's the part of town where it is. So that's where all the prostitution is, people. That's where all the drugs is, people. That's where all the visible stuff Now, in the other areas, they may be inside the lofts doing, doing coke or whatever. You're not going to see that. But the area where all the stats are coming from, people, that's the designated area where it's coming from. And in those areas, people, that's where you'll find the Hispanic. It doesn't matter from Mexico all the way down to South America, Central Americans. You are going to find them all. Okay, this is where you're gonna find your Cambodians, your Vietnamese, you're gonna find your Samoans, this is where you're gonna find your Blacks, this is where you're gonna find the Tongans, the Belizeans, this is where you're gonna find all of that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So the stats, people, and some people's ears are sensitive. Some people's ears are sensitive when you're dealing with stats and numbers, people, but in order to understand the whole spectrum, you got to look at it and see exactly what's happening. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the federal government also needs to get involved when it comes to this gang shit. Like I said, we need to start at the state, local levels, get rid of these shitty-ass fucking prosecutors, these shitty-ass DAs, get more police on the street. I know everybody has to say, "Oh, we hate the police," but the police, let's say, you ain't out there doing it. You ain't out there patrolling your street. So who do you fuck's gonna think's gonna do it? You got your little 10-year-old daughter walking home from school. You're not out there patrolling the streets. The police are. So if you want your 10-year-old daughter to make it home every day from school, you got to have what's out there to protect your kid. So this whole we can't have all the police. No, you need the police out there. And like I said, I'm not pro popo at all. I'm just looking at the facts. These are the facts. If you're not willing to be out there protecting your own families and your own neighbors and your own kids, then you got to have what's out there to do that. And that's the police. And as far as the feds need to get on these gangs, they need to start cracking down on these fucking gangs like they do. Like, let's say my motorcycle club issues, okay? Anything happens when I was in my motorcycle club, we got hit with RICO charges, okay? And anybody knows what a RICO charge is somebody does something in the club, we all get charged for it, and we get federal charges. So that's what needs to start happening. These gangs are criminal organizations, plain and simple. It's no different than my motorcycle club stuff. It's no different. They are criminal organizations, and they need to be treated as such. So once you can start cracking down on these large groups or gangs, and you hit them with the proper charges, trust me, a lot of that shit will go away. There's always going to be somebody to jump in the spot, but they're going to be less reluctant to jump in the spot when you got 10 years in a federal pen and you have to do 85% of your time. There's a huge fucking difference there. And I'm, like I said, I can't tell people how to make their music, but if you got vulnerable kids at home that listen to that kind of stuff, change it up. You're a parent. Be a parent. Say, hey, don't be listening to that bullshit in my house. Don't come in my house with your pants hanging down past your fucking ass. Parents need to step up too. And if they start to see that behavior, they need to nip it in the bud, not wait till later on down the road until something happens. You can start to see, anybody that's had kids, you've had kids, you can start to see the transformation when they're doing something that you don't feel is right. You can start to see that shit. It's not like one day you come out and it's like that. No, you can see the transformation. And as a parent, they need to jump on that shit right away. Like, hey, what the fuck are you listening to? What the fuck? Why is your pants hanging down past your ass? What's going on with you? What's going on? And start laying down the law, and there are just so much things, and that's the stuff that needs to be focused on, not the guns, not the color of your skin. Let's face it, more black people are killed by other black people. That's statistical facts. 52% of all violent crime is committed by black people. It's not made up fucking shit. These are actual numbers. And for everybody to think, oh, it's just because we're black, they're picking on us. No, these are the fucking facts. And get away from this mindset. Oh, they're just picking on us. They're picking on us. And look at the facts. Look at the facts. And and that's where our media comes in. Media comes in trying to always blame the white man. So there's a lot of factors that go into play that has absolutely nothing to do with the gun. The gun is, like I said, just a tool. And until they address these issues, until parents are really, get off watching The View and actually get out there and see what's going on in your community and see what's really happening, you're never going to solve the problem. And that's another thing. Communities are so scared because, they go out, you get that one guy, let's say Robert, you go out there and you say, hey, motherfuckers, why are you standing in front of my house doing stupid shit. People are afraid to do that because they know nothing's going to happen to these guys. If they cap off at you, nothing's going to happen to them. They're just going to be like, cap you off or cap at your house and move along the way, and nothing happens to them, you know? And so people are afraid to step up and do that shit. Now, if you were able to come out your house and say, hey, motherfuckers, you know, you call the cops or whatever the case may be, say, hey, motherfuckers, get out from in front of my house, and you have somebody there to take care of the problem, guess what? They're not going to be doing it. You know, people will be more at ease going out there and confronting these motherfuckers, like, get off my corner. You know, quit selling drugs in my corners. You're fucking up my kids. You're fucking up my neighbor's kids. Get the fuck out of here. But with no backup or you know, no backup and shit, you know, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. So that's where, you know, having more police, having DAs that'll actually, you know, put these motherfuckers in jail, you know?
Yeah, there's a whole lot there, people, that Roy just said. I want to touch on a few of those. I'm so glad that you brought up the MC, the motorcycle club, because there's a lot of people who don't and the RICO people a lot. I'm so glad that you brought up the RICO people. There's certain neighborhoods that are RICO because the government feels like they are too well organized, more than the average street gang. Okay, then people, you have the motorcycle clubs who, how the systems are and how they're set up. They're set up so that, you know, it seems more organized, but at the same time, you know, it's still, you might hear people say, oh, just a random person, pedestrian, civilian, there goes a motorcycle gang. They're not going to say there was a motorcycle club. They're going to say a motorcycle gang. They're not even going to use the club. So people, with just that being said, and he brought that up because people, you hear gang violence and you hear black. Okay, now you got a white guy right here that says, hold up now, we got to throw in the MC now to let everybody know and bring in the RICO. Okay, people, this stuff happens. Now, there was something else he said there, you know, about, you know, noticing your kid, the slight changes. The problem with that is we got people who are in charge of those kids who are actually listening and dressing the exact same way.
Yeah, and
that's crazy right there. Like, when you see the parent with the real skinny pants on and they're sagging all the way down, like, how do you sit down? First of all, how do you sit down? I've always wanted to know that. How do you sit down? And they got the rhinestone belt with the spikes on it, and I'm like, man, like, how, like, what is it? But then you look and you're like, hold up, that's the parent. And you see him dressed the exact same way like the kid, and they're listening to the exact same thing. And that's a huge problem where the media is really affecting the parents, you know, a little bit more than the kids. That's nuts right there.
Because you got everybody's wanting to, you know, we got in a society now where everybody trying to preach, oh, you should be a friend to your kid. No, you're not. You're not your kid's friend. You're your fucking parent. And you need to act that way. So that's the problem. You know, you get called, you spank your kid with a belt, you go to jail. That should never be. That was never a thing when I was a kid. You fucked up, you got your ass whooped. And you dealt with it.
Generation where you got the SWAT. I'm the last generation where you got swatted in school. So
exactly, but nowadays it's a criminal. They turn it criminal for you spanking your kid. You know, I'm not saying abuse your kid, like punch them in the mouth. Some kids could probably use a good sock to the chin, but you know, I'm not talking like that. I'm talking spanking your kids from the start, teaching them discipline. And a parent needs to be a parent, not a friend, not your best friend. And unfortunately, we have a society now. A lot of this is all society's fault at the end of the day, because we have a society that's gone so soft. You know, everybody should be walking around with vagina hats on, dude. It's because everybody's gotten so goddamn soft. And, you know, and it's easier. Once again, it goes back to personal responsibility. We'll just blame the gun. We won't blame me for being a shitty parent, not paying attention to my kids, worrying about who I'm fucking next on Tinder instead of taking care of my kids' needs. And paying attention to what my kids do. My kids get F's in school. Well, I'll let the government deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So it all goes back to personal responsibility. And until we start, and I'm starting to see a little bit of a change. A lot of some communities are starting to get fed up with this bullshit. And so it's getting around to that point, because, like you said, it's starting to personally affect a lot of people because it's hitting home now. And that's what it takes. Unfortunately, it takes something to hit you directly before you wake the fuck up, because it's okay if it's somebody else's shit. It doesn't affect you. It's okay. It doesn't bother. But when it starts hitting your home, then you start to realize, hey,
Good
now
point.
something needs to be
Good
done.
point right there, Roy. Good point right there, people. That's because this is part of life, people. That's why they put the news on TV, and we're like, man, we're watching so much bad stuff on the news. But think about it, all that bad stuff that we're watching, there's a family attached to every single one of those things, and it spreads on down. I got a question for you, my friend. Do you think they should input gun safety curriculum in the schools?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And elaborate on that a little bit if you can.
Well, another thing I wanted to bring up was that you were talking about that car thing. We have they actually put a special unit here in Vegas for that. They have arrested, I don't know, fucking 40, 50 people. They tow their cars away. They don't get their cars back. They throw them in jail. Anybody out there participating, whether you're just watching it or you're standing there doing whatever, guess what? You get a ticket as well. So there are things your community, like I said, if you don't tie your community's hands or the police's hands, they can do shit. So it's cut down quite a bit here in Vegas because they have a special unit that will go out there and tow all your shit, throw you in jail. They take the other people just standing there watching, whether you're participating or not. You get a ticket as well because you're facilitating it. You know what I'm saying? You're there. You're being a part of it. So there are things that can be done about that situation when you don't tie their hands. As far as the gun stuff, yeah, definitely, because kids are curious. They sell toy guns all the time. And so at the end of the day, a 5 or 6 year old or 8, 9, 10 year old, they're curious. And so they see, these fake, they see the guns at the store. They don't know the difference between a real gun and a fake gun. And, so I think they should be taught to leave shit like that alone. And then that also goes to the parent. If you're going to keep a gun in the house, you need to, don't hide, let your kid know, hey, do not touch this. This is that. They need to show that kind of stuff and teach their kids as well. And keep it, don't keep your handgun laying out if nobody's home where your kid has access to it. But yeah, they need to teach kids that they're not toys. And that's another thing that could probably change is these companies selling these things that look like toys and these toys that look like real guns. That shit needs to change a little bit too. But yeah, they should do that. They should teach kids these are the consequences. What happens. So on and so forth. But then again, I saw a video, and this is no joke. They actually did, I think it was in Florida. They had an ATF agent come in and speak on gun safety, and his stupid ass fucking shot himself right in front of the kids. So you can't, that's the kind of stupid shit. He's in there talking shit. Oh, the only one that should be handling guns is professionals like me. And then you shoot yourself right in front of the kids. That's real impressive. So, so that you deal with shit like that too, but at the end of the day, I can't expect schools to do everything that a parent needs to do. You could say, yes, it should be in there. It's kind of like physical education, and shit like that. But at the end of the day, it really does go back to the parent. If you have a pistol in the house, you need to make sure it's locked up properly and, don't have access. Your kids don't have access because they are going to be curious. And at the same time, you got to show your kids, hey, this is not a toy. Don't play with it. If you see one laying around, don't touch it. Get an adult. Yeah, you need to teach that stuff because, like I said, kids are curious, and because we saw that one little girl that shot her brother in the head, and then turned around and shot herself. Yeah. So she wouldn't if she would have been taught properly. First of all, not have access to that gun, and secondly, be told, hey, it's laying out. Let me get my mom or my dad. Say, hey, can you put that away or something? She'd still be alive, and her brother would still be alive. So.
Right. Now, see, people, I have the privilege. My grandfather owned a gun store, so he's a hunter. So his store was a gun store, bait and tackle. If you're trying to go fish, freshwater or saltwater, that's where you want to get all your bait. You want to get your hunting gear and all that. And he also had the stun guns for women protection and knives and all that stuff. So, we were able to see what bullets can do. You know what I mean? So just seeing what they can do and all that is scary enough. Now I got a question for you since we're on the school thing. If they do implement gun safety in the curriculum, at what age or what grade do they start to implement that in?
That's actually a good question. First of all, you would have to pick an age where kids are mentally able to understand shit. Like kindergarten, nope, you can't understand shit. First, second, I would probably say around fourth grade. Kids have a more comprehensive.
About 10 years old.
Yeah, they have an ability to comprehend shit more at a little older age. So I would think something maybe around the fourth grade, maybe third grade. It all depends. Like I said, the comprehension of kids being able to retain the information. But also at the same time, you got these TV shows out there glorifying it. Once again, the music's glorifying it. So the video games glorify it. So the news media glorifies it. Every time you get one of these people to go shoot multiple people, their name's on the news. Your name should never be on the news for killing multiple people like that. Period. You should be treated like a fucking outcast. In my personal opinion, the cops should never take you into custody. I would be more than happy that if somebody goes out there and kills multiple people like that, the cops accidentally let one loose and he got taken out. I would have no problem with that. I would have no problem with that at all. I know that would be, oh well, then you're no better than them. No, there's some people in society that don't deserve to live. Period. And
there's some people out there, and I call these they're possessed people. It does not matter what element you. It doesn't matter what element you put these people in. People, they have to when they go to jail. People, they have to all the way. I'm talking about super shoe program. I'm talking about they can't even go with population in there. There's just some people that just are against anything. Yeah, I see what he's saying, people, and that's the funniest thing. If they actually just let people, let's say they just let people change the rules of what do you call that, life, then the rules of life, or just if you can change the rules of life, let's go month by month, change it month by month and see which way actually works.
And to be honest with you, I would have no problem with this, and I think this is something that we should have this. This needs to come back. It's old school methods, bro. Like, you want to steal people, and it sounds harsh. I know. I'm all about eye for an eye. You want to steal my shit? You don't deserve your fingers. I will chop your shit off. And I think we have these like serial killers. These killers are in jail for 30, 40 years. Try that shit in Russia. Shit in Russia. What happens when you fucking kill multiple people in Russia? Guess what? You're guilty. They take you out back and dome you real quick. That's the way it should be. We need to show people consequences. Right now, there's no actual showing the consequences of your actions. You want to rape kids? Hey, we'll put you in the town square and hang you up in front of everybody. That starts to send the message that, hey, society is tired of your bullshit. There is no any guy that rapes.
He's gonna hang people from. He's not saying he wants to hang someone from a tree. People, let's go ahead. For any of you guys that's out there listening, that is not what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
A public example, people, of what might get someone's attention. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. We glorify these guys that kill. What it would be an awesome news story to see one of these mass killers get firing squatted right on TV. Oh, guess this is what happens when you do shit like this. Boom, you get to see the consequences of your fucked up action, and I think that would be a deterrent. It probably would deter a lot of people. Some it won't, but we got to quit glorifying this shit. We got to quit giving these people a platform, and that's what they get every time they go out and kill multiple people. They're on the news for the next 6, 7, 8 months, and we got to stop that step. We got to start showing people consequences for their actions. There's no such thing to me as cruel and unusual punishment. You're out there raping kids. You're out there raping women, physically torturing people, beating them up. There is no such thing as cruel and unusual punishment. Because if you can dish it out, you should be able to take it. So to me, that called cruel and unusual punishment, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. If you have the ability to rape and torture women, rape and torture guys, whatever the case may be, guess what? You let the family take that choice. Hey, you know what? he raped and fucking mutilated my daughter, I would like to do the same to him and let it go. Start showing the real consequences for people's actions, not just sitting them in a cage, let them have TV, free meals all day, free place to live.
Ooh,
No.
check this out, Roy. Check this out. Some of these people that do these heinous crimes, people. Now we're talking about heinous crimes, people. Some of these people do these heinous crimes, and because they're allowed to have accounts, they get these fans out there that put a bunch of money on their books and all this stuff. And they are absolutely people. Let me tell you, they are living so well in there, and they just off 30 people. He's got a body count of like 30 people, and he's in there. He's in there, people. Taxpayers say if they're not dead, we got to make sure they can get 3 meals a day, some water. But they are allowing people to put some of these people, these serial rapists and all these stuff, people, they have a lot of money, and they're eating better than a lot of people out. That's not, they're eating better than a lot of people, period. And they're by themselves, and they have they got the good CD player, they have the iPad, they have all that stuff. Okay. Yeah. So to guys like that, when they make it, like let's say they make it and they get caught and they can see all their stuff on the tabloids, they can see all their media, they're watching that stuff, feeling excited while being supported by people that actually like that at the same time, like monetarily. You know what I mean? So is he really in there feeling bad about his crime?
No, yeah, there need to be real consequences for people's actions, and until we and until this society hardens up a little bit, we're just going to see a continuous problem. But you as a person, you can start the process. Like I said, get to the polls and vote. Get rid of these shitty ass fucking DAs, like that shit ass DA you have in LA. They already got rid of the guy in San Francisco, so he's gone. So as communities, we need to get more community people together. I don't know how to do it, but there's got to be enough people out there that are just fucking sick and tired that they can get together and say, okay, we need to get rid of this guy to save our kids. We need to get this guy rid of him to save our husbands, our wives, our neighbors. People need to step up and start hardening up a little bit. Get off this thing. They just pick on me because of my color. Oh, we're poor. Being poor is no excuse to go out and murder and rob people. I'm sorry. I'm hella poor. I don't go out robbing people. So there's no excuse. And the opportunities, if you live in these crime-filled areas, you clean up those areas. Guess what? Your whole area thrives at that point. You take more pride in your area. That opens up opportunities. More places will want to do business there. That means it opens up jobs. So once you get rid of that shit element out of your neighborhood, guess what? Your neighborhood becomes something better. More businesses will move in. That means more jobs for you. That means it's safer to walk your dog at night. You don't have to worry about your kid walking home from school. There's so many benefits that if people would just open up their blinds to the house instead of closing them all the time, get out there with your communities and do what you need to do. And until people, like I said, so many people worry about who they're fucking on Tinder. What's the latest fucking fashion? They worry about shit like that, but they don't even worry about their 10-year-old possibly being raped or murdered walking home from school. People's mind is fucking. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Yeah, and people. There's a lot of people that'll say, well, there's businesses in all these neighborhoods. Yeah, people, you got to understand, and this is where it all comes in. Yes, there's businesses inside these neighborhoods, but these businesses are part of the economy also. So some businesses are not at a profit at all. So they can't go do certain things like having a cookout for the community and sponsor it and things like that. No, and this is where I feel more of the sports teams, more of the local sports teams and universities need to get involved with this, because those are the only organizations and institutions that it doesn't matter what race you are, you come there and you enjoy everything that they are putting on. You know what I mean? So if you get some sports teams to, let's say the sports team does they go out doing it for toy drives and stuff like that. Let's just say the Lakers the Lakers, Rams, and Clippers did something, and they said we're gonna do it in a neutral area, like so more people can come. You get these people involved, and then they start having people there speak about community and do stuff like that. They have the money and the resources, people in the neighborhood that would love to get that stuff going. People, they don't have the money like that to play around with. So, it's a lot of people talking, but you got to listen to the talk. And if one business said, hey, I want to try to do this, and let's say they got like 10 businesses involved, and then it actually was a success, that can start something right there. Because I know that where I used to live in Orange County, in a city called Tustin, they have the lobster cookout. I mean, the lobster feast for the whole city. You pay your $50, you get the all you can eat lobster. They have the chili cook off. They have a lot of things like that.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt you. I'll try to come back. I got to leave for work, so I'll try to come back if I can. If not, great. We need more people in this discussion. We need to get more people on this because once again, So, all right, cool. I'll talk to you later, bro.
Yeah, boy, Roy. People, that was Roy right there. Go ahead and go Real Talk with Roy. He goes out and does that stuff. People, but in Tustin, they have chili cook-off. They have all these other things that the community gets involved with. There's certain households that make chili and they compete, and all the same people shop in the areas, and you get the farmers markets and you go and gather things there. So there are things to do. There are things to do. It's just that when you're dealing with areas where it's just tough, man. As much as like I said earlier, as much as they want to do, the same people, they drop off crates of guns in these areas. So that's right there on that. Now, I got some news right here. All right, people. I got some news. Now, this is for the people that are on the no tip, no trip. Okay. This is for the people that are on the no tip, no trip whole thing. Now, there is a strong supporter of no tip, no trip by the way of Yost Malone. You guys may know his channel. Right now, he is trying to do a video every day for a whole year. He has been on Rideshare Rodeo. He has been, he interviewed Kim Tsai Money Plan. By the way, she's got to change that music that she has. You have to watch it fast. He's been on Pedro's channel. He is going to the Gig conference. He is talked about, and he is a supreme believer in no tip, no trip. But I found out, people, this is what you find out really how, this is why I say, where do you separate the line from service? Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys, and this is from his latest video. And I asked him this question too. He gave me a heart, so I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on the reply right there. But I'm going to show you guys this, and it is about Chick-fil-A. Okay, it is about Chick-fil-A. So I'm going to put this on right here. Let me see.
It's just okay. That's it. It's not.
All right, so I'm going to play this clip, right? Now, this is coming from someone that is and I just announced everything. He's been on these channels, and he's been saying that, service is not something that will get this and that. Well, you're going to hear his thoughts on Chick-fil-A. So check this out right here. And I just want to bring this to the table because it's what people should be doing anyway. So check this out.
Really what this meant. It's service minded. The service is important. I think people value service kind of over quality. Now, I'm not saying Chick-fil-A's food isn't quality, but I think people value service over that, and they will pay a little bit more to get treated well. What do you think in the comments below? Would you rather go somewhere that had good food and bad service, or go to a place that had good service with okay food?
Okay, people. So this came from someone that is supreme no tip, no trip. He just said he doesn't feel that Chick-fil-A's food is great. He said he feels that the service that you get from Chick-fil-A, the people are paying more because that service is so great. So he just asked the question, do you want a restaurant that is mediocre in service or whatever? So I'm asking that same question. Now, this is coming from a person that is no tip, no trip. Okay. He said, okay, the service that you get from Chick-fil-A, the people will pay more for that because the service is there. So let's translate that over to being a delivery driver who is picking up food from a place that where you know when you go to that place, you're going to get, that's the service that you get. So if you pick up that place, you are an extension of that restaurant. So why would you not have that same exact customer service coming from a place that does that and people are paying more? Don't you think that if you kept that same service and you took that all the way to the door, and you just answered it for yourself? This is so hilarious. There are people out there that will cherish that. It's not 100% of the people, but if you do that to every single door, that person that cherishes that is going to pay you more. Now that came out of the mouth of a no tip, no tripper on his own video. On his own video. He said Chick-fil-A is not that good, but the people are getting superb customer service, and that's what they are paying for. So if a delivery driver does service like me because he understands business, and there are other people out there that understands that process, that lets me know from the biggest no tip, no tripper that there's a customer out there that's going to pay me extra money. Now, if anyone wants to dispute that, they can come on. The link is there. I'll play the video again, and I'll go to all the no tip, no trip videos he has, where it's titled no tip, no trip, and he gives it, and he says service is not that important. You just go and drop it off. But you have to understand this, people. If you knowingly know that a restaurant that you are picking up from, their reputation is their service like Disneyland, don't you think you have to keep that up and not lower their standard down? Don't you think you have to do that the right way? And this is what I mean by people are saying, someone else wrote me and said, don't you understand independent contractor? And I have to tell that person, you don't understand. And this is my main reason right here. You know, you guys will keep it for a service where you go and sit down in and all that other stuff, but you are the whole extension of that franchise. You picked up the contract to go ahead and do that. So why would you not want your service? That customer inside their head, they know everything is going good from Chick-fil-A. You pick it up, they're expecting that same energy to come from you to them. It doesn't matter if it's a leave at door, or if it's a leave it door, they know you're not going to walk in their grass and kick over this, or they know you're not going to do any of that. If it's a meet at door, they're going to expect you to come, nice smile, hi, here you go, you know, sorry it was late, or they're going to expect you to do all of that because of the place where they ordered from. Okay, people. Now here's the downfall where people, this is what a lot of content creators and people say, that they say, well, the people think that we're actually coming, you know, from that company. They don't understand that we are an independent contractor. Yeah, and there's some people that will not separate that from their head. So that lets you know that your service should all the way be 100%. There is no faking in that. I got a text message about a live from Pedro talking about apologize to my viewers and all this stuff about something about hiding tips or status doesn't matter. I was just invited. Okay, I was just invited. I was part of okay, I was part of the roundtable for Uber. I didn't just do the response. I was in. Okay, let me do this. Let me pull up my Gmail so I can show you my RSVP. Let me pull up my Gmail so I can show you my RSVP. Okay. So you guys can know that I'm not flabbergasted, but I'm going to show you guys my RSVP. Okay, for the town hall. Okay, let's go. Uber, town hall, July, reminder, Zoom meeting. Let me see right here. Okay, I'm going to share this screen with you guys to let you guys know I'm not flabbergasted. Okay. Okay, so here's my email. You see my picture right there. That is me, Robert Reese, the new u.r@gmail.com. Here's my Uber Town crew thing. It's a reminder the town hall will begin in 1 hour on the day when we will join from your PC and everything else there, people. This is the thing here. This was my RSVP. Hi, Robert. This is my thing. I was there. I was part of the town hall. Okay, so this is what I'm telling you, people. Nothing that they have not already said themselves. They put it there. You have certain status, you have certain acceptance rate, and that's why I show it on my Walmart Spark 2. I show you that, they tell you that on Walmart Spark 2. It's not just having it on early. The closer you are to that store, that's why I just sit there in the parking lot and they're like, how are you getting all these orders? Well, I'm there before you guys and I'm sitting there and I'm taking them out and I'm dropping them off. The small orders that no one will take and they pass those up, I go take that one and then I get that one done in a certain amount of time to where they throw a round robin up. So I get like 3 orders in the hour if it goes like that. Easy. You got to understand, I figured that part of the system out early. Okay, but I show you the customer service ratings and all that stuff counts, and that's what I do. Now, they do count. They do count. Okay, they do count. Now you can see your address. You can see addresses and the drop-offs when you gonna accept the orders. You get to see all of that when you're at a higher status. That's just the way it is. That's how it's set up. You only know everything. You only know everything you are seeing when you actually have that access. Once you have the access, you're like, dang, it's showing me this on my app. It's showing me this on my app. So that's how you know. So until you can absolutely do that, bam. And people, the lunchbox and Nova Dine agreement with the restaurants was real. That, like, it's real. That was the first part of you guys understanding, like it's the whole truth. Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these companies, they signed deals with Nova Dine and Lunchbox. And I read those out live on the air, what the agreements are and what they're giving to the merchants and everything. We broke that down, went over that. Secondly, I broke down that when you're renting cars from certain places, you can get your rewards points and actually get free service for food when you're ordering. And more companies are doing that. Grubhub just did it. Amazon has it for it, and they're doing that so that the people are not paying those extra fees, so that a person will see that it's cheaper than normal, and then that might entice them to go ahead and tip a little more. Okay, but with all that said and done, if you have 5 orders in the area and you have the 3 highest rated drivers there, and you have 2 other drivers there, the 3 highest rated drivers there are going to get the 3 best orders there. Okay, now they're not going and saying like this one is more than this one, so you get that one. This one's more than this one, so you get. That's not what they do. They just see that the status of this driver, let's match them up with that. Now whatever that person orders, that's what they ordered. It's not going based off of the order amount and going straight to you. That's not what it is. Diamond will get diamond. Platinum will get a diamond or a platinum or anything else that's there. If not, they will give it to the other driver. That's just the way it works. So there is no apology for saying exactly the way it is, exactly what it is, and what they want you to do. Okay, so I cannot give any information out about the town hall on what was talked about. But what I can say is this: your ratings matter. That's all I can say about that. And unless you get invited all the way in like me, I just showed my RSVP. I showed that I was in, and you know, it is what it is. The DoorDash revolution was on a DoorDash panel, and there's some things that he can't talk about, but he can elaborate on some of it just a tad bit. And there are content creators that were trying to get him to open up about that, but he cannot. You know, we agree to certain things when you accept to go to the town hall to be in that group. We have to accept a certain thing for us to be able to. So I'm letting you know, and they already have this in writing. So I'm just letting you know your acceptance rate and your satisfaction rate matters. On all of the apps, they are using the same business model. It matters on all of them. That's why you have some drivers are stopping one and doing another one. And now they're seeing it so hard that they have to do the grocery store apps simply because they've ran their percentages so low on all the other ones. They just are like, man, I think I'm just getting crap. Well, that's the problem you have there. But DoorDash did give a chance to recess edit and start over. But you can still do it now by just accepting your orders and growing slowly. You can still do that. And I have a real problem right now with content creators still mentioning summer slowdown. If you are a content creator and if you have Curry, if you have Ship, if you have Instacart, if you have Walmart Spark, there is, and this is what I said a long time ago, there is no such thing as a summer slowdown. The grocery store apps are busy every single day. They're giving you orders every single day. It is not slow. Stop telling people that there is a summer slowdown, okay? It is not slow. You go work the grocery store app and then you fill in whatever gaps you have with your food delivery. And there is definitely not a slowdown at all. There is a slowdown for people that super pick orders and you're looking for certain orders at all. Then a slowdown is going to happen because you're slowing your process down and you making your money. So yes, a slowdown can happen like that. But all in all, if you have one of the grocery apps, there is absolutely no way there's a slowdown for you. And if you have more than 5 apps, there is really no slowdown for you. So, if you are a content creator and you are doing the gig work and there's a lot of people out there, no, absolutely let them know that there is no summer slowdown. It can be a slowdown if you go at it like this. If you become super picky because you think there's more college kids at home or they're gone or whatever, ideology that you believe, you got to be able to let them know that is a percentage there, yes. But bam, you got to let them know that you have to adjust and you have to go with the flow, and then you got to bounce. That's just the way it goes, okay? You have to do. If you are someone that's like you have burned yourself out on the food apps, DoorDash and all that, where you have like an 18% acceptance rate, and you're like, all they send me is trash, then maybe you should literally just wake up at 5 a.m., get some stretch, get something to eat, turn your app on for a grocery store app at 5:45, get over to where that grocery store is, whatever app it is, and then just start busting right there. I guarantee from 6 a.m. on the grocery store app to at least 12 noon, you're going to have at least $175. If you go all the way easy, and then you can just work at night and just be super picky on your food app. It is that easy. But there is definitely not a summer slowdown, especially if you have a grocery store app that you actively work. So I'm going to tell the people out there that are watching and that may be trying, to come into the gig economy, and some people say, hey, it's a bad time to come in at this time because of slow down. Let me tell you this also, that's also marketing people. Some people may not want you on the app so that they feel like they're going to get better orders, but there is no summer slowdown. The only slowdown happens if you adjust your game plan to a slowdown that you put inside your own head. The orders are going to be coming in. You just have to pick the orders. And that's it. And get into a grocery store app. Go do one of the other apps, and you will absolutely see. But if you are a supreme super picker on, you only are trying to look for unicorns, it's going to slow down for you because it's going to slow down. You're only looking for those, and you're telling yourself to not take anything. Now, I saw a video that Van did, and he's saying that for someone that is, and his name is DoorDash Tips now. He's saying for someone that is in an area where it's not as busy as a metropolitan area, you're gonna have to do $1 to $1.50 a mile. That's what you're gonna have to pick up. You're gonna have to accept those. He's saying that if you live in an area that's just all the way super busy, then you can afford to only pick the ones that are doing $2 a mile. So at the same time, he's pretty much saying know your market and all of that, because he says $1 to $1.50. If your market's not booming like that, you better take that order. Why would you pass that order up? He has a short that has a bunch of views with him saying that. Okay, but, and this is what I say about my man out there. My goodness, why is his name not popping up? Well, it'll pop back up. he's out there and he drives in the area. He can neglect 150 orders in a day. There are areas where that can happen. Mr. Flex, and Mr. Flex is one of the people that can do that because in his market he can. And he finally understood the other day when we were on Roy's Live, and he finally understood what Prop 22 meant and how it worked, because I finally broke it down to him, because he had a paycheck up there that was $1,360. I said, see, now here's how Prop 22 works. He said, what? That $1,360 you got there, you get that. He said, yeah, but I don't want no Prop 22 involved in that. So I said, all right, that $1,360 you get, there's no Prop 22 involved in that. I said, now check this out. Next week, they're going to give you an extra $400 just because you did that many hours. He said, so there's people out there that just don't know how to work it. Yes, he understands what Prop 22 is. It's not adding in for you to take orders that no one else would normally take. You can still pick what you're doing and still do what you do and still get paid extra. So he finally figured that out. He's like, oh, and this is what, and since that is that there, I gotta. I didn't get a chance to reply to Pedro on this when he was on Roy's thing either. He was saying he doesn't agree with it, putting the money there and giving people stipends. Well, let me tell you how important that stipend is. You know how much health insurance is, right? You get a healthcare stipend, okay? It's a healthcare stipend. You get that money for a healthcare stipend. The amount of money you are getting is helping you pay for your health insurance, okay? Your vision, your dental, your medical, your vision, your dental. If you want an HSA, you want to do the life insurance, that money goes there so that you are paying for that and your family is under you. That's why that healthcare stipend is. In California, you have to have health insurance. So they did this so people can afford health insurance. Also, while you are in the gig economy, the health insurance is cheaper for you also, because they calculate, the wear and tear on vehicles and all of that. So they have it at a more efficient price for you as someone that can actually go ahead and get that done. So if you do 187 hours in the quarter, you get $637 at the end of the quarter. If you do 300 and something hours, then you get $1,272, and that goes into. Now, let me tell you this: each month, a person is going to be paying like $200 something to, let's say, $250 or something for their medical insurance with their family on. So if you break that up into the 4 months in the quarter, that money that you are getting goes and pays for all of that. Okay, that's what it does, Pedro. So for you to say that you don't agree with that, it's allowing a lot of people to still drive, do gig work, and still pay for their medical, their vision, their dental, and all of that stuff. That's why I say a lot of people don't understand what Prop 22 is all about and how it works. You're not just accepting every order because it's up there. You get paid for every one that you hit accept and you complete the order. That's what it does. You get paid for those hours. They calculate those hours, and based upon those, that's all your waiting time and everything until the order is complete. If you're on customer service during an order, you're still on call. You're still getting paid for that whole time while you're on customer service until the order is complete. You're getting paid for all of that time. So they're not just saying, go pick up this and pick up that. If you want to multi-app and do it, boom. Now, here's the problem. The multi-appers here, now it only works with Uber Eats and DoorDash and a couple other apps. It doesn't work on all the gig apps. So if someone is neglecting one app and they really don't work on that app, guess what? They're not getting no Prop 22, so they don't even understand how it works because they neglect the app that actually gives it to them. They may not be working and getting all the orders in on DoorDash because they multi-app with all this other stuff. So therefore, they're only getting a small percentage of the Prop 22. So they really don't understand either. And these people are making videos, and I'm like, how do you live in a state and not get it? You're doing the same work, and then they're just going to add in this extra for Prop 22. So bam, you got that. The Prop 22 is there to help with maintenance on your vehicle, your oil changes, your air filters, and all that stuff. Then the healthcare stipend is there to help with the medical and stuff insurance. And they make it cheaper and affordable for you so that you can drive and make money. That's why if you know how to use it in California, you are making more money than other people. You have never heard of John McCain or anybody else in California break it down like this because they don't work like this. They don't work to where they can explain to you and break it down. They understand how to nag and tell you the stuff that everybody wants to hear, but that's not the truth. For someone that works the app specifically and gets all of his hours there, I can tell you exactly how it works. Okay, exactly. I'm not getting no Prop 22 for Walmart Spark. I'm not getting Prop 22 for Walmart Spark. I'm only getting Prop 22 for my Uber Eats. Okay, so that's what I'm telling you guys. Okay, I'm not getting Prop 22 for Spark. I'm only getting Prop 22 for Uber Eats. Okay, so there's someone that might be doing more of Spark and doing less of the food apps, and they don't get any Prop 22. They may get like 10 orders of Prop 22 money, and that's nothing. They'll give you like 25, 30 bucks, and then you're gonna get up here and say, man, Prop 22 money is whack. But then you'll get someone like me that'll put 30 hours in on the Uber Eats, and I know if I do at least 30 hours in the week on Uber Eats, they give you your money every other week, so they go 2 weeks. I know for at least 30 hours each week, 60 hours in a 2-week period, they're gonna give me 450 bucks extra. I know that. So that's an extra 900 bucks that I did not have to do but accept and complete what I said I was going to do. And by doing that, all those hours count that goes in towards my healthcare stipend also. Now here's how it works also. Once you hit your quotas and your goal, let's say for your healthcare stipend, now you can say, you know what, bam, I'm going to just do the grocery store apps. But you got to understand how it works. I multi-app, but different. I do one app in the morning and do one app in the evening so I can get full benefits of each app so I can speak and talk to you guys about it. And that's there. That's that there. So I want to bring that out. There's a lot of content creators that are not telling y'all the truth, and this is hot facts. I got to bring it to you. I got to bring the truth. There is no summer slowdown and all this other stuff. All right, people. So that's Prop 22 broken down, and I'm glad Mr. Flex finally got it on Roy's channel when we were up there. So that was perfect there. So for those of you who want to know how Prop 22 works, just go back and just rewind this and listen to how I broke down Mr. Flex's thing. Outside of that, people, I'm gonna do my thing like Chuck Woolery and sign out in 2 and 2. I'll see you guys later.